What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another weekly update. And Friday, we left off with some really bad unemployment numbers. We came in way below estimates. But being said, even before that, we had Jackson Hole, the digestion, and essentially the green flag for FANG stocks. This is a big reason why I talk about the FANG stocks and why I should concentrate on those FANG stocks. Although we have started to see some strength come into mid cap, a little bit of small cap lately. Value stocks, banks have essentially been kind of holding their own. Everything's been kind of in a flight pattern since we've come into September. But Labor Day is important. Labor Day is tomorrow. The stock market is not open. That's why I'm actually creating this video on a Sunday night as opposed to on a Saturday, because we have an extra day. We have a short week. It'll be interesting to see if volume floods in this week and what it does. Now, being said, this week we also have the beige book on Wednesday. Although everything's been kind of advertised that essentially rate cuts are not happening this year. The Fed is planning on trying to cut essentially all asset purchases sometime this year. They're trying to at least dial back. That really depends on the debt debate and the debt ceiling and where that goes. And that probably won't have a final decision until October. So essentially, tech really has a green flag. This is why we are not seeing tech sell off, or if it does, it is picked back up very quickly. But being said, we need to see if that volume, once it starts pouring in, if we really start to sell or not. Typically, this week historically has been a week of selling, but we have to see. Being said, you have to manage risk. I know every dip is very much enticing on buying, but you do have to be careful and mindful. If we've been running extremely hot for the past 2 months, even though we've seen a lot of chop, every dip has been bought and being pushed forward. Although towards the end of the year, I think we're really going to see a massive run. Again, I've talked about how we might get a diluted version of some kind of correction in the next 2 months, but it's still very much possible. There's no news to sell us, and that is really what is holding us where we're at. Being said, we still have some earnings this week. We do have GameStop this week. I am not following GameStop, but that is on Wednesday after close. We do have Affirm and Zscaler and Dave and Buster's on Thursday after close. So there is a couple more earnings to be had. But being said, again, good majority of everything has already been done and called for, and this is why I've been focusing on primarily on FANG because they have had the bigger moves. But being said, going into this week, again, we've been kind of flat on the index over the past week, essentially going into Labor Day. Banks have kind of stood still. Value has pretty much stood still for the most part. And then tech has had some explosive days during the morning. Some individual stocks have been pretty explosive, but aside from that, everything has still been kind of flat going into Labor Day. So we really want to see what happens. So looking at QQQ, again, flat, just like the index, just like SPY, the SPX. So it'll be interesting to see how we do this weekend coming into Tuesday morning. Again, aside from everything that's going on, the beige book, I really don't see that much of an impact really this week. We may get some, maybe a reason to sell. Maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe we're looking for a reason as to why. But ultimately, in my opinion, there is even the massive amount of numbers aren't going to correct. We saw that on Friday. Unemployment numbers were horribly bad, but that's not going to affect the market. All the market sees is the fact that we're not going to recover. So that means there's going to be more money fed into the system, which means there's going to be rate cut is going to be pushed back even further. So being said, that is a complete green flag for tech. Now, Tesla still been trading flat, playing range. For me, I'm looking more at like Apple. Apple's also been trading pretty flat, although it looks like we're starting to come into a wedge. But your ones like Facebook did have some selling and it's starting to push back. Google did have some selling. I actually caught this on Friday. I did enter here and caught part of this move up. Being said, those are the two I really want to look at is Facebook, Google. Amazon did some selling, stood still. I want to see if this continues up or what the deal is with Amazon. Microsoft, trying to roll over. A lot of these look like they're trying to roll over, and that's one of the biggest concerns is a lot of the patterns that we are seeing. If you're a technical trader, they're not playing out. A lot of stuff looks like they want to roll over, and typically they would roll over. But we've noticed over the past couple months, they're not playing out. They don't roll over. They just continue to go. Dips are continued to be bought up and continue to push. Being said, you should play what's in front of you and take it day by day. Don't plan out several days in advance. Yes, be aware of what's going on. Currently, right now, I don't really see anything that's going to sway the markets to the downside or even possibly sway it to. In my mind, I am very bullish on what is going on in the current situation, the way everything is playing out. Even the Delta variant, I don't see lockdowns or anything like that. The market just is not scared. There is no fear there at all. Also being said, people are still possibly concerned about inflation, but being said, they are combating that by buying dips on stocks. So we do have also Shop, which is quite intriguing and playing range very well. I want to actually be surprised if Shop can break this 1592. If that decides to go higher, SC is another one I want to watch on dips and play that out. But ultimately, Roblox is one I want to keep an eye on Monday as well, because their lockup period ends on Monday. Being said, again, market won't open until Tuesday, so I want to see if we get some heavy selling in this, possibly looking at that 73 mark for an entry, if not lower. Anything I think below 70 is a good entry point for Roblox. I want to see if volume in the lockup date will really push Roblox down and then go from that point. And again, Palantir has also been very strong. It's slowly been creeping up. I think a lot of these mid-tiers are starting to really push. Chips showed some strength on Friday. NVIDIA MU looks like another one that's another possible good play. There's a lot of good consolidation here. Just play range. If you can get in around that 72 mark on a possible dip would be best, is what I'm looking for with a tight stop. CRM, a lot of stuff is starting to trade sideways. I think that's mainly because of the holiday weekend. Again, you have play, which on the daily actually looks pretty good for the week. Again, as long as it doesn't break below this essentially 36 mark, it should be pretty solid. We might actually get a good, decent bounce here going into earnings and see how it does. But ultimately, Clove is starting to see some running a little bit. It did have a bit of a run of Thursday into Friday. Even Airbnb is something I've been watching. It's been slowly melting up. I just want to be mindful, and I don't want to make the wish list too big. I don't really, again, I'm just keeping the eye on FANG. Again, I want to look at the ones that have some of the best earnings over the past quarters. So you're looking at your Tesla, your Apples, Google, right? Those are my major players. As long as any major dips, I'm watching these on major supports and trying to buy first bounces. So especially for Google, if Google can get down to that 28 mark, I'm looking for a good bounce there. Facebook is another one that got bought up pretty quickly on Friday. If we can get down to the 365 mark, looking to buy dips there. Major supports, Apple. If we can get back down to the 151 mark, looking to buy a first dip bounce with tight stops. That's what I'm looking at, especially going into the next couple weeks. Again, I believe we're going to see some kind of selling. I don't know how how much sell pressure will come in if volume comes in, but ultimately those are the things I'm going to watch. Snap is also one that's set up perfectly. It looks like it's actually broke out, retested. You might get a nice play back up to 78. One to keep on watch. I do really like Snap. Square has been kind of one of those ones I've been watching close. It plays this 262 mark, 262.41, and that 272. So it's been playing this range pretty tight as long as you can grab it down here. So I'm essentially watching that 262 mark up to that 272 mark. That's playing tight range. A lot of these are playing tight range. That may not be your cup of tea. Ultimately, for scalpers, this is perfect. I play both swings and scalping. In my mind, that is, you have to be adjustable, and I play both. And right now, it's perfect for scalpers if they are watching, again, range. If you can play the range well, you can do very well. But pretty much that's what I got. I know this video is a little short, but ultimately understand that we have to see how it plays out. We have to see how the volume of September plays out and take it from that point. If it decides to sell off, again, you don't want to be heavily invested if you are a swing trader. If you're an investor, you know, it is what it is. Try to get the best price for what you can. But we have to see what September and October are going to have in store for us. First week down, we really haven't seen much, but we'll start seeing what happens after Labor Day. So if you have made this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.